Hi, everybody. I am Maxine Linehan. I am an Irish singer, actor, producer.
I'm Isabelle Laurier. I'm, Jesus, a chemical engineer.
Oh, gosh. Sounds
French
so much more
Canadian.
impressive.
French Canadian, meaning that I'm from the part of Canada where you speak French. I'm not part French and part Canadian. I'm sure it exists somewhere, but that's not me. And therefore, my accent is funny because I learned English when I was 11. Okay, so it's not, I didn't come out of the womb speaking this way. We're super excited to be talking to each other. But before we go deep, I'm almost off the sauce a year. It's going to be in 2 weeks. I'm off the sauce a year, but I still need a crutch. And it's not too early. That's a beautiful thing of drinking AF. You can start as early as you
Oh
want.
my gosh. As early
ready.
as you want. All of the amazing
It's only 2 p.m. Come on.
Oh my gosh. It's legitimately.
And by the way, when I was drinking, I would have already been on. So why change a bad habit?
No.
Go get me a wine key, baby. Make yourself useful. Come on. Jesus. Women nowadays.
Okay, so I think the best introduction to us, and we're here to talk about alcohol-free living and how
Absolutely.
it has impacted our lives, the reason we made the decision, the experiences we've had, the challenges we've had, the relationships that have been impacted, blah, blah, blah. But I think we have to, first of all, talk about
how we met.
An Irish girl and a French Canadian girl
not in a bar.
Not in a bar.
Actually, our first meeting was in a bar, but that's not how we met.
That's not how we were connected.
Correct.
Yes. So we were connected by a mutual friend.
Mm-hmm.
A mutual friend who, a couple, Ryan and Kate, who we were really close with respectively as wine connoisseurs, right? I mean, that's what we bonded over. And I can't believe, actually, when I think about it, that you and I have lived in this tiny little corner of Vermont and had never met until this moment when I'm having a wine dinner. Cheers.
Oh, cheers.
Sláinte.
Where are my manners?
Chin chin.
Chin chin.
Mwah, mwah. Oh, that's lovely.
Listen, it's good shit.
This
I don't
is
drink. I wasn't drinking cheap stuff when I was on the sauce, and I'm not drinking cheap stuff off the
No,
sauce.
and every single one that you have recommended to me. Oh gosh, first.
There goes Priscilla.
There goes Priscilla. Oh my gosh, that's exactly what that was. That was the laptop of my creative director. Okay, hold on, let's fix that.
Poor Priscilla. Priscilla, are you okay? Wave if you're okay.
So we met through our friends Ryan and Kate. They were here having dinner with Andrew and I. And all of the years that we've known them, we were such close friends, but we bonded over wine.
Of course.
Like we had collected certain wines from California together. Anyway, they were here for dinner, and it was the first time I was not drinking at a wine dinner.
Right.
And I kind of just dropped it on them. Or I don't know, they knew I was not drinking, and we'll tell the story, each of us, of how we got there. But, we're sitting down to dinner. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not drinking wine. And they were both like, for good, for what? And, everyone's trying to process the fact that I said I'm not drinking.
Right.
And then they said, you know what? This is crazy. Our other friend, Isabelle, who we have been drinking great wine with for years, also just quit drinking like 2 weeks ago.
There's something in the water.
And they were like, what is going on? And then Ryan said, hold on a second. How come you two don't know each other?
Right.
And it was so funny because he was like, I can't wait to introduce you. And he said, then I want a big bucket of popcorn and I want to sit and watch you two meet each other.
Yeah, because it was like,
connect.
You're shy and she's shy.
And then
so
it's going to be really awkward for the two of you to make friends.
I don't know you'll ever have a conversation.
It's like, he actually said, I think the world might like go off its axis. He's like, what's going to happen when you...
Oh, there goes Priscilla.
God.
I think your thing is not like... Poor Priscilla. On South Park, I used to listen to that years ago. They're like, somebody killed Kenny. Ours could be like, oh, there goes Priscilla.
Yes, somebody dropped Priscilla. So Ryan and Kate say, you've got to meet Isabelle. And they just connected us by text. And then we met. Remember that first night we met?
Yes. And the thing is that by the time we had texted so much that by the time we met, I felt as though we were like, let's catch up on old days.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
You know, we had already like.
This is right. We
texted
had
so
we had a text exchange.
So
Once we
much.
started going, we were like, it was 100 texts over the course of a couple of
Exactly.
days because we couldn't believe the connection,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and the idea of people from two countries, which we joke about all the time.
Drinking cultures.
Drinking cultures. Drinking is a national sport
Correct.
in our cultures. And here we are, and we've met in Vermont, and we've both made this decision. That was the other thing,
Right.
within weeks of each other.
Correct.
So
2 weeks of each other.
within 2 weeks. So we had just independently made this choice and then came together, and the rest is history,
The
because here we
history is
are.
history.
Let's each talk about how we made the decision. Like, how did you, what was the moment or the catalyst
Right.
or
So, yeah. So, first of all, like you and I have that in common, that there's no rock bottom moment. So, my rock bottom was like falling off a bar stool, right?
Yeah.
So, that's certainly not a hard
Yeah.
rock. I mean, I was drinking bottle and a half of wine a day, every day for like 20 something years. As I said, no hard rock moment. I would wake up at 5 a.m, go work out.
Yeah.
But a bottle and a half, that's if there was no big party going on. So, you know, I
that's
could go
standard hydration?
standard.
Yes.
And I could hold it like a sailor. So no one has ever said to me, you should really think about your drinking. No one ever.
Yeah.
On the opposite, people would be like, maybe you need a drink. Because it was a fun
Yeah.
drunk.
Yeah.
But, you know, and I'm an engineer, I'm a science-based person. You're like, I drink too much. I had diarrhea every day because I had to take 2 Pepsid AC in order to not have acid reflux. You know, my sleep was starting to suffer and it was not going down. My consumption was not going down. It was going up. So I would try to moderate, and that was hard. And as I was trying to moderate, because I never wanted to quit forever, I
Yes.
studied to be a sommelier.
Yes. That was the other thing we had in common,
Yeah, my
right?
mom was like, don't you think you take justifying your alcoholism a little bit too far? Like studying to be a sommelier. Anyway, so I was not at all wanting to quit. It was not on my radar.
Yes.
And I picked up a book, and I don't know if I'm allowed to name it.
No, we have to name the
Oh,
book.
okay.
What was
So
the
it
book?
was
I
the
don't even
Annie
remember.
Gray, so it was
same
The
book.
Naked Mind,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And because she basically, this is just a meta-analysis. She went and took all the good studies on
Yes.
stuff and put it out there and
Yes.
explained them properly.
Yeah.
And once I understood what was happening in my brain, that I could not just have a glass, because when I just had one glass, I felt like shit. I understood why.
Yeah.
I was like, man,
The science.
now I can't unknow it. I just couldn't drink anymore. She broke it for me. And
Yeah.
that was it.
Annie Grace, This Naked Mind. So
She
that,
messed it up.
That is the book. I mean,
Yes.
it really is the book that was the catalyst for so many people. So then you just one day, after you'd read that book, you were like, that's it, I'm done.
I finished the book 4 days before my birthday. And it's September 13th. And my husband was like, on your birthday, you can give yourself a pass. And I couldn't. Because I was like, it's not a pass now. And I see it. It's not doing anything for me.
It was a switch that just
It was a
flipped.
switch.
Yeah.
And it's not like, like life wasn't wonderful like right away, but it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. I used to be a 2-pack a day smoker, and I quit smoking 23 years ago. That was far harder because I just, it's bad for you, but, and I was younger. But this is just, so it was a switch. It turned a switch. I saw it for what it was, a poison that I thought was making me calmer, but it wasn't, that I thought tastes good. The only thing I disagree with her with. It does taste good. I like wine.
Okay, but that's a conversation.
But I like this.
Because that is one thing I don't know. We have to explore that because I think it is different for every person. But so my alcohol-free origin story, but it's the same, right? Neither one of us were people that ended up in rehab.
No.
Neither one of us were people who are like, oh my gosh, that person has lost a job, has lost a relationship, right?
Right.
It was not that. And that's the thing that I think is important in these conversations, is that there's no, I can't remember which book it is that talks about the spectrum.
Right.
And as soon as you've
Oh,
had
the gray.
the gray, it's like
Right.
there's people who don't drink alcohol
Right.
and never have, or one of my aunts in Ireland who I think has had 6 glasses of wine in the course of her entire 60 years of living. There's those people.
Right.
And there's full addicted
Fall over
alcoholics,
drunks.
people who just battle with addiction their whole
Right.
lives and are in and out of rehab, and some find recovery and some don't. And then there's everybody in between, right? And
Right.
if you've had alcohol, you're somewhere on that spectrum.
Correct.
But so for me, it was exactly the same. No plan. I didn't, think, oh gosh, I really need to stop drinking. Now, for many, many years, I would think I need to drink less.
Correct. Moderate. Because
And
you're
I
like,
kept
oh,
trying the whole moderation
that's
thing that just
hard.
never worked.
No.
And I am somebody who spent 30 years drinking alcohol on and off, sometimes not drinking at all,
Oh.
obviously during pregnancies for
Right.
me, but also my Irish Catholic guilt during Lent, never drank alcohol,
wow.
would do dry Januaries, would happily do all of those things.
Sure.
And it was never difficult for me. I'm like, people are like, oh God, how do you not drink for 40 days of Lent? I'm like, so easy. I just don't
Oh
drink
my
for those
God,
40
that would
days.
be horrible. That would, listen, if I when I was trying to moderate, and I would be saying, I'm not going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It would be like this, Thursday, come on. Like it was hard.
Yeah.
Hard. But quitting was easier.
Yeah. Well, and I think if you give it up for a chunk of time,
40
too,
days,
so for me, 40 days was it. But I always had I can't wait for Easter Sunday
Right,
when
right,
I'm going
right.
to have champagne and chocolate for breakfast.
Starting at 10.
That was
Yeah.
absolutely.
Right.
So there was no, rock bottom moment
Right.
for me either. For me, it was feeling at the end of the summer of last year of 2024, September rolled around, and I always like September because to me it's like a little mini start again.
Yes.
And I was like, I feel
Heavy.
I feel like I had a very fun and very indulgent summer when it comes to food and wine and barbecues and parties and da-da-da. And I just looked in the mirror and I was like, oh, I'm I look I feel and there was no like pinpoint anything is wrong.
Right.
I said, you know what I need?
Don't feel right.
I need a reset. I need a
Right.
cleanse. And I'm all about that. And I discovered late to the party, because I guess 75 hard is
Right.
this
Oh, I could never do
health
that. God
challenge.
bless you. Oh, my Lord.
And I guess it became viral during COVID. Anyway, a friend of mine was doing it and I learned all about it, and I thought, and so, for people who don't know what 75 hard is, it's this challenge, a health challenge, a health reset for 75 days, 2 workouts a day, 45 minutes each minimum, a diet of your choice, right? You pick something that's structured that you think you can stick to. Big one, no alcohol.
Right.
1 gallon of water a day, and reading, like self-help, self-development, self-growth.
Can I say,
Yeah.
this would have sent me right to the bottle. That's a hard. I don't know you did that. That's hard. All in this shit. Oh my God. I'm
Yeah,
like,
you
I would
know-
have been like, that's fucking, I raised my glass to you, sister. Wow, that's hard. I can't believe you did all of that. Plus you quit drinking.
Wait, I did the 75 hard.
Shit.
I love the 75 hard. I loved the 75 hard so much. I did 150 hard. So I doubled down.
What is wrong with you?
So-
I don't want to join your cult.
After the 75 days, for me, I was like, I feel so good.
You did?
I just felt so good. And I was working out. I was
work out
feeling
like
really
3
healthy.
times a week, not 2 times
No,
a day.
2 times a day. And that was actually tricky because it was time management. Like, where do you fit in 2 separate things?
No shit. Then
But
you have 2 kids. I don't
5
have
o'clock
any
in the
kids.
morning, get on your Peloton bike, and before dinner or after dinner, depending on, how light it is
Right.
out, go for a walk for 45 minutes.
Wow.
So once I got in the structure of it, I am someone who thrives on structure and a challenge. So it really spoke to me,
Right.
and it worked for me. And after 75 days, the thing that made me double down was the reaction of other people that were putting pressure on me to start drinking again.
Right.
So a lot of my friends were saying things like, ugh, when is that 75 hard over? Throughout my life, people would say, ugh, when is Lent over?
Right.
And I'm like, hold on a second. You're not drinking. I'm the one that's not drinking. Why do you need Lent to end?
You do you.
Why
I
do you
do
want
me.
my 75
Right.
hard day, 75 hard challenge to be over? And so it made me think, okay, what is the expectation of other people on me at the end of 75 hard? And I was like, you know what? And it was coming up to the holiday season. So everyone was like, oh my God, thank goodness that's going to be over before, Thanksgiving and Christmas and all of that. So I got a little anxious about it. And I said, you know what? I'm actually doing it twice. I'm doing 150 hard. I'm doing 150 days.
Instead of doing that, there's a way easier way to get rid of people.
Go on.
You look at them and you're like, why don't you go fuck yourself? Right?
Mind your
I'm
own
not drinking.
business.
That's it. That's what I would do because
Yes.
I'm lazy. I'm not unlike Maxine. Everyone, I'm not. Well, no, that's not true. I'm a Virgo and I'm an engineer. I'm structured, but I'm not a sadist.
No.
Sadistic. How do you
Sadistic.
Masosadicist.
Oh
Masochist?
gosh, I don't even
I don't
know where you're
I-
going
English
with that
is-
word.
But you know what I mean? Like,
But
this is
no. I get you.
pain.
You would have just given people the middle finger.
Yeah.
But for me, I internalized
You
it
like
a little
that.
bit.
You like a little.
But I
yeah.
also wanted to figure out why I was feeling this way. Like I was feeling stressed about
people
other
pleaser.
people. I am a people
I'm
pleaser.
not.
Absolutely,
I'm
no
not
question.
A people pleaser.
Total people pleaser. Also, I work in the arts. My job is to please people. So, anyway, the last day of it happened to coincidentally be January 1st of 2025.
Oh.
And still, through those 150 days, I wasn't thinking, I'm done with alcohol.
Right.
Until that morning. And I woke up and we were down in Florida on holiday with my husband and my kids. And it was the first New Year's Day in 30 years that I didn't have some kind of hangover.
Right.
I was awake at 6 o'clock in the morning. My daughter and I watched the sunrise on the beach. We ended up picking up garbage. And it was in that moment, sitting on the beach, where I said, you know what? I'm done.
Right.
That was it. It was just a moment where I sat really quietly and thought to myself, I'm done. I don't need or want this in my life anymore.
That's the thing. So that's, for me, it happened really fast and I couldn't, maybe there's a higher power that decided to help me out, but I don't want it. Like I'm more calm. I'm less reactive. I don't want it. The only time that I don't even want it, but that I don't even miss it, but I feel as though it made a hole,
Yes.
right? But I don't want to fill it with booze.
No.
But the only time I'm like, oh man, now there's a little bit of a hole is like, let's say you're in a situation, you're at the dinner, you're at a party, and one of the compliments people give me, they're like, man, Isabelle, are you sure there's no booze in your wine? Because people think I haven't changed, which is great.
Yes.
But then they get wasted, which is fine. I don't care. My husband still drinks.
Yeah.
And your husband still drinks.
Yeah.
But eventually, the party gets, for me, boring, right? The jokes are the same. They get repetitive. They get sloppy. And I don't feel, I feel, not that people are excluding you, but you're not included anymore. Like you're not enjoying yourself and they seem like that and you just want to go home. You've had enough.
Yeah.
So I feel sometimes a little bit left out in that sense. But I don't want to belong to the group. I'm not, right?
Yeah.
But you're like, all right. So, but then when you wake up the next day, I'm quite glad that wasn't part of the, you know what I'm saying? Because they didn't have fun. They didn't look like they were. The fun part of the evening is before everybody gets wasted.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and I think, this is a perfect segue to talk about why we're doing this podcast.
Right.
So when you and I met and we talked about it, and instantly we just had such a similar path to alcohol-free living. And we connected so much. For me, when I wrote a newsletter to my fan base about this, and the response to my honest storytelling, that was what I've just told you just now. Not some big drama. I was picked off the gutter and I'd left my children stranded. Like it wasn't some big drama like that. But it was giving me the opportunity. What I did in that period of time was start to feel, I did this mental trick where I was like, oh gosh, if I was drinking, this is how I would be feeling right now.
Right.
So for example, on that
Correct.
New Year's
Yes,
day,
that's right. I did
waking
do
up
that.
and going,
Yes.
oh God, if we had
Right.
gone to the Fontainebleau
Yeah.
in Miami the night before, which was the absolute worst New Year's Eve of my life because it was just so poorly organized. And we
Right.
spent thousands of dollars on these tickets
Ugh.
for Calvin Harris to please my children who I thought they were going to love this. And Calvin Harris came on, calling him out now if he ever sees this. He came on at 11:59.
That sucks.
Like, anyway, so, and we ended up going home and it's not,
Right.
I did not miss alcohol. And we had the wristbands where it's
Right.
an open bar, everything. And there was no missing it because I was locked in.
Right. Correct.
And then the next day, I just started this thing, and I've done it 1,000 times since, where I think, oh, if I drank yesterday, this is how I would be feeling today.
Right.
And on that New Year's Day, I was like, if I were drinking yesterday, even if it wasn't a big party, which it wouldn't have been when we were just with our kids,
Right.
I would still be like, ugh, this morning.
And not even the next morning. For me, it's also been as you're drinking. So it takes a little while to get there. Like, you're not going to feel this way after 2 weeks. But
yeah.
after, like, even I threw a bachelorette party for my sister 9 days sober right here in Vermont. And I even though it was early, I remember thinking, if I were to drink right now, you know, that kind of sluggishness that starts
Yes.
creeping into you?
Yeah.
There's a point where you actually, when you are removed from alcohol for long enough, meaning a couple of weeks, you start liking not feeling sluggish.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, not having that kind of buzz. You know, one of my friends was like, don't you miss the buzz? I was like, actually, I don't miss the buzz.
No.
You know what I mean?
No, because the buzz is such a small part of it.
And I don't, and it makes you kind of dolls everything out.
Yeah.
You know what I
and
mean?
the euphoria of a clear mind and a body that feels energized
Right.
so far surpasses for me any drunken happiness.
Right.
Look, I am a naturally happy person.
Well, we're both pretty high on life.
We live
Yeah.
high on life,
Right.
and I've always done that and lived that way. So I don't, I also, neither were you, a person who needed alcohol to go to
Right.
a party.
No.
Like, that's not who we were.
Right.
But so that newsletter that I shared in January, I got hundreds of people writing back to me
Wow.
to say, I've been thinking about this. I've been, and so it really surprised me. And now I still hear it all the time. I had a friend visit me from South Carolina a couple of weeks ago, and she said, oh, I just wanted to say thank you for inspiring my husband. And I was like, oh my
he
gosh.
quit drinking?
He quit drinking. She was like, he read your newsletter and thought, I've been wanting to do that.
Right.
And so I'm going to do it. So the reason for this podcast
Right.
for you and I is you and I have just felt so inspired to talk about our experience, to see how that can start the conversation
And
for
I think
other
other
people.
cool people. That was one of my biggest things is
Yes.
feeling, I'm 53, but I forget it all the time.
Oh, me too.
And there's a part of me that's like, I'm cool. Of course I'm not.
Okay.
But I think I am.
Okay. Stop me
wait,
right there.
and-
No. Look at you. You are the epitome of cool. You are
French
have
Canadian,
French
Annie
Canadian
Lennox,
cool.
everybody.
Like listen,
But
so
you know what I
can
mean?
stop
But
saying
when
that.
you quit drinking, I was like, so I don't do drugs.
Yeah.
I quit smoking cigarettes. Now I'm quit drinking. I was like, shit, what am I? Like Mother Teresa? Like, where are my cool? Like, where's going to be my cool edge? I kid you not, like a 5th grader. I was like, oh my God, now I'm like this squeaky clean. Like, what the hell? That's not matching my tattoos. Like, oh shit. Like, that really bothered me. Like, that image of like, you go to a party, like, hey, you want, some wine? Oh no, I don't have a club soda. I was like, oh shit, my image.
Yeah.
And I started Googling cool celebrities that didn't drink. Like, I wanted.
There's a lot of them.
Right. And so, because I listened to a lot of podcasts, and it was always like, no offense to mothers or anything, but like mommies, sober mommies, like these like cutie pie, like really nice people.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want cool people that don't drink. I want badass people that don't drink.
Yeah.
And when I met you, I was like, okay, cool. Now there's one badass in my town that doesn't drink. Yeah. Starting a movement. And I was like, we were hoping that this podcast would be to represent the badassery.
Yes. And also
As non-drinkers.
the space on
Right.
the spectrum for
Correct.
everybody to be a part of this conversation. You don't have to be an addict. You don't have to be somebody who says, I need to stop drinking. It's just an awareness.
You don't have to be a goody two shoes.
No.
Thank
And the
God.
whole idea of this is is entertaining, inspiring conversation. And look, you must be living under a rock if you don't see that more and more people are
Right.
talking about living without alcohol.
Because we're realizing that we're just the victim of this huge marketing coup,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That is the alcohol industry, which is the same as the pharmaceutical, right? It's a
Yeah.
huge lobby. And we're realizing, like, remember, like, this guy, like, I think was a general surgeon of England, lost his job when he blew
that's
the
right.
whistle.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
alcohol was like a carcinogen, like
Yes.
asbestos.
Yes.
And like there was like no alcohol, that's good for you, blah, blah, blah. They canned him.
Yeah.
It's such a big thing if you quit drinking or you demonize alcohol, all of a sudden, there's something wrong with you. Whereas like someone pointed out to me, Isabelle, you go to a party, this person quit drinking. And he's like, if you're like, oh yeah, I don't drink, I'll have, a virgin, blah, blah, blah. People are like, oh, what happened? He's
Yes.
like, if I had quit cocaine, nobody would ask me.
Oh my gosh. So Jim Gaffigan, one of my favorite comedians,
Right.
one of my favorite clean comedians, he does a whole bit about this. It's
Oh,
like
okay.
you go into a party
Is he
and you're like,
sober?
no, he must be if
He
he's telling
must
this
be,
joke.
right.
Where he's like, I don't drink, and people are like, why?
You know what I've been telling
What's
people?
wrong? And he's like, nobody says that when I say I don't
No.
want mayonnaise on my sandwich. They're
Correct.
not like, why? Do you have a problem with mayonnaise?
I was at a lunch with a bunch of like engineers, like engineers in construction, like a cool bunch, right? White men in a certain age. And
you.
So like, so I'm one of them. So we're sitting at luncheon and everybody's having wine and it's my turn. I'm like, no, I'll just have club soda. And then someone's like, and they're used to me drinking like a fish. I can drink everybody under the table at the table. And he goes, you're not drinking? And I go, I'm pregnant. And I left it like that. I didn't even start laughing or anything. I left a pregnant pause. And the whole table went like this. And this was like 6 minutes ago. I'm like 53. I've been menopause at 40. Like the world knows. It was pretty funny. And then I fessed up. No, I'm not pregnant, asshole.
Oh my gosh. I
But
wish
it
there was
great.
video footage
It was
of that.
great. I should have filmed it. It was great. But next time someone does that, you're just like, I'm pregnant. Well, they might believe you in your case, but me, it was a sure.
Oh, no.
Sure.
No one is believing. I had a hysterectomy 10 years ago. So, the ship has sailed.
You and I, wow, we have so much. I don't have an hysterectomy, but I have an unused uterus. We're like we're like so similar in so many ways.
So many ways.
Accents.
Well, so and the other, accents, right?
Everything.
Although and actually where we're from, I think is another big part of one of the challenges
of not
right?
drinking.
Of not drinking is
course.
people's view of, for me, how many drunk Irish jokes have you
my
heard
God.
in your life? It's like people still say
Right.
it to me.
Right.
The ignorance around everyone's culture, if you're not really well read, but it's pretty extreme.
Yes.
My experience has been over the years for everything from you're Irish. Oh, I loved that movie Braveheart. So I'm like, well, that's about Scotland.
I've never seen. Oh, that's
let's not-
hysterical. That
let's
I've
not
never
worry about
seen
that.
it. That's really funny.
But the thing that always goes with Irish, you guys love to drink. It's this constant thing that has loomed over our country
Right.
forever. Now, I'm not saying there's no smoke without fire.
You know
but
what? Like we might get canceled for what I'm going to say, but you know why our countries drink so much? Because we were both under the juge of Catholicism and you needed something to forget.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you needed something to forget, like this prison you had been put in.
Right.
Did I just lose half of our audience right now?
No, I don't think so. But it's true.
Right?
The guilt and the structure and the things that come around certain cultures ends up leading you
And
to
if you
drinking,
keep your
but-
people drunk or stoned, as a matter of fact, they're too buzzed to see what's going on around.
To rise up.
And to wise up and revolt.
Yeah. And look, listen, the Irish people, we're storytellers, we're partiers, we love to do all of that. But the stereotypical Irish drunk just drives me crazy.
Right.
But you have, with your French connection,
Right.
to wine and the culture of wine in your upbringing.
Yes.
It's the same. It's like people are like, what do you mean? People would say to me, "You're Irish and you don't drink." I mean, you must get the same thing.
Oh, well, so yeah. So just even an idea, my mother, who doesn't really like drinking, she'll have a glass of wine and not finish it, right? Like it's not a thought.
Yeah.
It's like me and sugar. I don't care for sugar. I'm one of those.
Right.
So she's there, like that with booze. And yet, when I was 7 years old, and she denies that because she thinks I'm trying to call like protective services. I'm like, Mom, don't worry. I turned out okay. But when I was about 7 or 8 years old, I'll never forget, we're at a restaurant and everybody's having red wine and I was the only child. And I had a 7-Up and my mom took some of my 7-Up, put in a separate glass and put a little bit of red wine in it. And she said, so that you can get used to the taste. So when you're older and you go at work, you drink red wine. And this is not someone she's not an abusive mother, let me tell you.
No.
But it was
it's
part
cultural.
of the culture.
Yes.
Like you need to drink wine. And especially French Canadians, we were the kind of like the bitches of Canada, like we were the little people back then in the 70s. We drank beer, so we were starting to come out of our shell.
Yeah,
So drinking wine was a sign of sophistication, right? Like along with learning English. You were drinking wine, you weren't like a blue collar, like you were somebody, you had gone to university. And so for my mother, it was very important that I knew how to drink this beverage, of grown-ups. So yeah, I told you when I showed up with non-alcoholic wine, my parents' house the other day for myself, mind you, and no, I was not going to share. Shit's expensive. My dad almost had a heart attack. Whoa! I'm not, no.
You're like, it's not for you. Calm down.
Relax. So yes, it's been quite a shock. So they don't even know that we're doing this podcast. I'm not even telling them.
No, don't.
No,
Why
I
would
might
you?
get disintegrated.
Listen,
like they'll cut me out of their will.
They'll cut you off. I mean, and again, it's like, oh gosh. So my alcohol very beginning. I just had my childhood best friend here for the weekend. We've known each other since we were two or 3 years old. And we were talking about an Irish upbringing and what that's like. And for me, so in Ireland, alcohol, certainly when I was growing up, 70s and 80s and early 90s, alcohol is a no. You may not have it.
You need to know that.
Stay away from it. It is bad for you. The devil drink, we call it. So there's a real awareness that it is bad for you. And certainly when you're young. So we have this thing in Ireland called, in Irish Catholic upbringing, called the pledge, where you pledge to the Holy Spirit or something. The Holy Spirit, I think, yes. It's been a long time. Where you pledge not to drink alcohol. So it's when you're confirmed, when you get your confirmation.
Right.
Do your confirmation. You pledge not to drink alcohol to a certain age. And you can either choose 18 or 21. Overachiever, I was like absolutely going for maximum credit here. So I'm committing to 21. And I had no problem with it. But when I think back, when I was doing all this exploration into why, for me, this connection and then now disconnection from alcohol and not wanting it anymore is when, going back to think, when is the first time alcohol crossed your lips? So yours was in a 7-Up cocktail.
I was just thinking the pledge, that would have sent me to become Protestant like right away.
It would have been like drink this. We need you to get used to this very special taste.
That's hysterical.
For me, I was a flower girl. I was in the bridal party of one of my aunts when I was very young. So I want to say I was like 9 or 10 years old. And I was up on the altar. And I remember, one of those moments that's just in your brain. You can never, ever forget the feeling in the moment, the crying, the emotion, where, they're giving you communion. And normally they would skip the kids where you don't have to drink the wine, the blood of
cheap
Christ.
Stuff. It was horrible.
Oh my God. So the guy, I'll never forget this priest. I don't remember what he looked like, but I remember him standing in front of me, and I remember this chalice being given to me and me standing looking at him thinking, do you see that I'm a child? I don't want that. And then he just looked at me and he went,
where I would have whipped up a straw.
So you were like, have you got some 7-Up that I could I need to cut it. So I took it and I drank it, and I remember it tasting like poison to me. And it's in my mouth, and then I start bawling, crying, and I see my parents in the pews going like this. Stop. I was embarrassing everybody because I was crying up on the altar.
Only time your parents ever forced you to swallow, right?
or drink alcohol at the time. It was, so I was like, okay, so that was the memory of me hating it so much.
Ugh.
And then it was, okay, now go back to you're not allowed to drink anymore.
Right.
And so for me, not drinking, I didn't drink. My first alcoholic beverage, aside from that very difficult
Mistake,
moment on the
right.
altar, I was 20.
Jesus.
So I didn't, like, I stuck to my pledge
good for
because
you.
I believed, I can't remember what I believed. I can't, whether it was I was going to burn in hell or I was getting extra special treatment in heaven. But
Right.
that's what
Yeah,
we're being
one of
taught as
those. Of
Catholics.
course.
It's one or the other. You're
Right.
either getting a special chair upstairs or you're
Or
burning in
you're
hell for
downstairs.
breaking
Right.
these rules. So for me, I was like, oh gosh, I pledged to drink. And I
Right.
got to 20, which I think is pretty darn
Yeah,
great.
it is.
And then from 20 to, I'm 52, and so also almost a year. So from
Right.
20 to 51, though, 3 decades of rock star living.
Absolutely.
Once the door was open then
Yeah.
for me, and I think we'll, at some point along our podcast, we'll talk about our first time being drunk. But so it's just wonderful now to be in this place where I'm not telling anybody not to drink.
Oh, God, no.
Drink if you want.
Of course.
I am telling you my story.
Right.
And you're telling your story.
Right.
And we're talking about the challenges and then all of the wonderful things that have happened physically to us. The plan for us, this is our pilot test, right? See if this is resonating with people. And then September coming up, and then we're into holiday season.
Right.
So our plan is to do a little mini season gearing up to the holidays because it's such a huge trigger time for people emotionally around parties. What do you do? And all of the, somebody said this to me the other day, and it really something that I have thought about a lot, which is the freedom that I have given myself to stop thinking about
booze,
whether or not I'm drinking.
Right.
And when you're coming into the holidays and you look at your schedule of office parties, family gatherings, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever it is you're celebrating, everybody is thinking about alcohol.
But that's funny because thinking of which, now that I don't drink, I can go to more parties. Because it used to be like, even though I drank every day, I was an everyday drinker, that never, bothered me. But there's so many hangovers you can accumulate before you're like, shit, man, I need to stay home. I would stay home and drink, but you don't drink as much and maybe not an empty stomach, whatever. Whereas now it's not a thought, right? Like, or how many things that people, like someone would be like, oh, do you want to, I don't know, play pickleball at 6? I'd be like, 6? Are they out of their fucking mind? 6 o'clock. I'm already wasted at 6 o'clock. Like I can do anything past 4. And now I can do all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things I think we're also looking to in the podcast is some of the tools.
Yes.
If you're a boozer like I was and you enjoy wine, I have discovered a world
oh my gosh.
of non-alcoholic wines,
100%.
like real wines that were de-alcoholized,
Yep.
that are delicious, that are made by winemakers, actually.
Yes.
So we'll discuss some of those,
No,
and
we're-
after dinner drinks and all of that.
All of the amazing mocktails
Yes.
that you and I
Yes.
have concocted.
Yeah.
I also want to, throughout the podcast, talk about the books
Oh,
there
yeah.
because I discovered the
So
whole genre of
Yes.
quit lit.
Yes.
Quit literature based on quitting an addiction.
Yes.
Mostly they're around alcohol. For me, mostly I would say 80% of the books I read were written by women.
That's true. A lot of them were written by
Yeah, I
women.
mean, I'm sure there's plenty of books written by men about it.
Yeah,
I
I
just
don't find
gravitated
them,
towards
right.
the ones about
Yeah.
women. Also because I think women have a very specific relationship with alcohol thanks to alcohol's introduction to the world and to society, same as cigarettes.
Right.
How the big marketing campaigns were geared towards women, making them feel free, making them feel sexy,
Correct.
making them feel all of these things. If you drink this, if you smoke this,
Right.
those I mean, it is clear as we look back now, those were
Yes.
targeted at women. And so for us, and it's the learning for me, other people's journeys, as well as great books like Outlive, the Peter Attia book,
Right.
which like Annie
I
Grace's
did
book.
read that too.
Oh, you
Yeah.
it's
I did.
you did,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's so amazing. But
Or
that's all about the
Dopamine
science. It's
Nation.
like,
Yeah.
holy moly, the things that we didn't know combined with the things we were lied
About.
to about.
Right.
So many things. So I think for you and I, this journey is about all of those different aspects.
Right.
One of the local wine distributors the other day said to me, he's like, let me just tell you, in a few years from now, we're getting so close. He's like, it will be hard to tell. Like it
Some
just
of it
keeps
is.
getting better and
Yes.
better.
Correct.
And all the different ones, every one that you have recommended to
Right.
me, I have absolutely loved.
Well, to the point that for some people, actually, that not for me, but for some people, it's a trigger.
Yes.
Not for me, because I love the Rydell glass.
Absolutely.
I like the ritual, right? I
Yes.
gave up Catholicism, so I had to pick up other rituals, right? So like the nice
It's a
glass
much
and a
better one.
nice pour,
Yes.
and the incense is burning and the fireplace
Yeah.
is roaring. Like I
Yes.
need that special. Otherwise, like that's you and I just came back from France recently, like separately, on separate trips, and I sat at a cafe with my husband Brooks, who still drinks, but he's much more reasonable of a drinker than I am. And I remember sitting there and thinking, I need something to feel like a badass, right?
Right.
I didn't have non-alcoholic wine. I can't smoke cigarettes. And I was like, Brooks, do you have a cigar? Because he smokes cigars like once in a while. And he
Yeah,
happened to
yeah.
have one. I had 2 puffs. I was like, I'm gonna vomit.
Yeah, that's
so I
the
gave
thing,
it
it
back.
tastes so bad.
But I remember I was like, I just needed something to make
Yes.
me like, okay, you're on vacation, you're different than
Right.
you're at home, and like booze would have been that, but the non-alcoholic booze, that ritual. The ritual
yeah.
is a lot.
No, and
right?
I
So-
actually think that for me was how I discovered it became easy. What I realized was I could easily live without any kind of drunk high or drunk
Right.
buzz, because I can get that on life and a
Correct.
really good night's sleep
Oh my
and
God.
performing and all of the ways that I get excited and high on life. I knew that it wasn't that I
Right.
needed, but I figured it out. It was the ritual.
The
It
ritual.
was the lovely sharing in a social moment.
Correct.
And I love a nice glass and all my
Yes.
Waterford Crystal. I was like, I love to do that.
That's
and have
why,
that.
like, when you go and they're like offering you fizzy water,
Yes.
I'm like, I am not a child. I don't want juice and I don't want fizzy water. Give me like either a mocktail and I want an umbrella and I want all the fruits. And don't give me. The other day I went to this bar and I'm like, oh, I'll have a mocktail. Like, make whatever you have.
Yes.
And it was a local place. I won't say where because I like the person.
Okay.
It's somewhere I don't go often though.
Okay.
But the person is very nice. But this was a letdown.
Uh,
They have all these cocktails. So all you have to do is put it together. Don't put the booze. Not hard.
Right,
And they
it's
have all
not
these cool
hard.
glasses
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
have all the fruits. Like I want the fruits. I want the whole bouquet.
yeah.
I got a straight glass like this with club soda and like a shot of like lime juice. And I was like,
No, that's not what I was looking
cool.
for.
Yeah, that's not a mocktail.
And
And they give that 6-year-old. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, the ritual is very important. And that's how you rewire your brain this way. And the one thing, like, I had quit cigarettes, so I knew what it felt like to quit something.
Mhm.
And some people like will tell you, oh, you'll never forget about cigarettes, or oh, you'll never forget about alcohol. It is bullshit.
Yes.
I smoke 2 packs a day. I never think about it anymore. Same with alcohol. The more distance you take from something, the more your brain relearns to enjoy things without the substance.
Yep.
And it eventually just doesn't go there anymore.
Yeah.
Just you don't want it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
so-
And for me, like, I think it is important to recognize, and I do, I know people who really just battled with alcoholism.
Right.
And that something like this
Too close.
it is too close. And it's
Correct.
like, no, that could set off. And for me, and I'm also one of those people that have, in however long it's been now, 11 months, I have, over the course of that time, absolutely tasted alcohol. Like,
Did you?
Oh, yes.
I won't.
See, I have, because a couple of times Andrew ordered a really nice glass of wine, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh, I remember that one. Let me
Uh-huh.
taste it. Here was another massive turning point for me, though.
Tastes like vinegar?
It tasted disgusting.
Huh.
And I was like, oh, gosh.
See,
And I had read about
wouldn't
that
do
too. Some
yeah.
people, if your palate is reset that
Right.
way, that now, and it was biggest shock to me.
You should just smell it. I'll smell it.
Yeah.
And the smell is good, but
The
I would
smell
be
is still
afraid.
good.
I think I was more addicted to alcohol than you were, in the sense that you were able to like not drink for 40 days. Like
yeah.
I remember doing 1 month once. And I was like, all right, so I did 1 month. So now I'm not going to drink until Thursday. And that
Yeah.
lasted 1 week.
Yeah.
And then creep right back up to a bottle and a half a day, right? So I would be, for me, if I took one sip, I would be afraid that alcohol
that would just trigger something.
But
I mean,
not
and it
like
could,
it-
and I'm not going to encourage you to
Oh,
do
God,
it.
no.
But I
I'm
also
saying, yeah.
think
You're
that
good that you can do
I
that.
also just think that it's your palate. I
Oh,
think
you thought it
you
tastes
would
gross.
not like the taste anymore. Like I mean, and every time I brought Andrew for Christmas, the Caravan,
Right.
the wine system
Yeah,
where you
yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
extract one glass of wine out of the
Yep,
bottle and you
yep.
don't compromise the rest of the bottle. Goes back in the cellar. He took a glass a couple of times of a wine that I have loved for decades.
What was it?
Multiple times this has happened.
which
When he
one
first
was it?
opened a bottle of
No, but
Sea Smoke.
what is it called?
Sea Smoke.
I don't know it.
Oh
Where's it
my
from?
gosh.
That's got to be American.
It is American.
I was an old world wine
Oh, well,
person.
so was I. I mean, the same.
Right.
The other day we had, actually, segue back to our friends, the Myasex, Ryan and Kate, they were here for dinner and we opened a gift that Andrew and I had been given
Right.
of an 82 Petrus.
Oh, Jesus.
Ha ha.
Did you smell it? Did you taste it?
Both.
Shit.
I did not like the taste. Isabelle, I didn't
Man,
like
you're,
the
you're
taste.
brave. I wouldn't, really, good
I
for you,
didn't.
but then don't
so
taste
it
it
actually just
anymore.
made it easier for me. I was like, I don't like the taste of this anymore.
Then don't taste it anymore because I'd be concerned that it would
I think I would have to drink a lot of it to like
it
the
would
taste of it again,
rework
but-
itself.
And also,
back.
it's not. I don't even have that fear.
You
to
don't
be
want to
honest.
reopen those pathways, is what I
The
mean.
neural pathways. But honestly, I have easily just said,
You're done. But don't taste it anymore then. If it tastes like piss, it tastes like piss. Don't
Yeah,
taste it
yes.
anymore.
I suppose you're right. You're like,
I
why
need
do
to
you keep
protect
trying
my
then?
co-host? My God. Like, next thing I know, she's going to show up drunk as a skunk. And be like, wait, what?
No, I have absolutely no fear of it. Like
No,
I have
good for
no.
you.
It's not that I don't have any fear. I have no desire.
I
The
have no desire.
just evaporated.
Right.
And
I
if
agree.
you told me this 1 year ago,
I would have never believed
I
it.
used to say to my husband all the time on days where I had a miserable hangover, I would say, I mean, how many of us have said, that's it, I am never drinking again.
And you would drink that day.
And then you would drink that day to like
Correct.
make it a little bit better.
And then you felt better, so you
But the
drank
one
more.
thing I would say, as I got older, I was like, oh, I could easily give up everything except red wine.
Correct.
That was my one caveat. I was like,
Right.
I can't, I really, until a year ago, I would have believed that life was not really worth living without good red wine.
That's a good point, because that's another thing you're making me think that before I quit drinking, like I remember I'd be, let's say you're traveling, my husband and I like to go to weird places, right? And one of the weird places, well, it's not that weird, but this one was like northern Norway, as in like North Pole. We're doing a road trip and it's like nothing. There's nothing. And they'd be like these cute little houses. We're on the Lofoten Islands at some point, and these cute little houses on rocks in the middle of the ocean alone. And I remember thinking, oh, I could do that as long as I would have like 4 or 5 cases of wine. Like I could go without mayonnaise is my other thing. I love mayonnaise. And I was like, I would think of what would I need? Okay, I would need Brooks. I don't need electricity, but I need so we're going to say what, a month? All right, like eight cases of wine. Like, and then that's
Then
it.
I'd be
I don't
fine.
need food, but I need wine. And I remember thinking, fuck, that's scary. That's scary that I'd be
Right.
like, I can't live in a place where there's no wine access. But, if they don't have food or water, I'm good with that.
Right.
But they need to have wine access. There's something warped about that.
But not really, because we had
I was
taught
addicted.
ourselves
Yes.
to believe that.
Correct. That's
that
true.
I told myself there is no way I want to live in a world that doesn't have a great Burgundy.
Plus, Jesus turned water into wine. Like, they started at the Bible level to tell us how good the stuff was. Marketing genius.
yeah. And it's hard to believe, isn't it? For me, it's still hard to
Next
believe.
thing you're going to find out, Hennessy was behind the Bible.
Oh,
Jesus turned the
water into brandy.
Into brandy, into wine, into, when you think about that. So it's like, you're right.
Yeah.
Like, we were hardwired.
Yeah.
It's the only drug, it really is a drug, that I can think of that the whole culture, the histories, the stories you read, hardwire you since you're little to drink. And as a matter of fact,
Yeah.
the few people I know that never drank because they don't like it
Yeah.
are almost apologetic about it. Like they did something wrong.
Yes.
One of them is my niece. She's this gorgeous, Adonis looking, 5'10", blonde. She looks like she was carved out of a freaking like Barbie model. I mean, she's hot and she's a medical student. She's hot and smart. Never cared for alcohol. And she still says it in a way that's like an apology.
Yes.
Like, I don't
Because
like it.
society.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and I don't even know how long we've been talking,
I
but
don't
I
know.
think we're
good.
We're good. But I think the timing of this, of you and I talking about this, is so perfect because you
Appropriate.
see that idea of apologizing for not drinking,
Right.
of hiding the fact that you're not drinking is so ridiculous. And now we're all waking up to the fact
Correct.
that it is bullshit. And
It is.
and the more we talk about it, it's like anything. The more we normalize the non-alcoholic life, the more we normalize the conversation this way, the more people are going to feel okay about it. Like, honestly, probably half a dozen of my close friends who had never had these conversations with me before have been like, oh gosh, it's really made me think and I'm scared. I'm scared to stop drinking, but I want to. There's a big part of me that wants to not drink anymore,
Right.
but I don't know how to do it.
And I
there's-
can't wait for us to share our funny stories on the subject because when
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
driving and I'm listening to those podcasts, oftentimes I want something funny, uplifting, like make you feel part of the gang, like
Yeah.
a lot of the other podcasts are super helpful, but for me, it's sometimes a little bit too serious or, you know what I mean?
No, and what we're talking about is, I think the reason that you and I connected and the reason I think this is a great platform for us is that we're proof that not drinking doesn't mean not fun.
Correct.
Like it's
Absolutely.
quite the opposite.
Yes.
And for me, I keep getting these waves still every day.
Yes.
Of euphoria.
Oh, that's so funny. You're still living the pink cloud?
Yes.
I still do sometimes too.
I
That's
am
so
still
weird.
very, and I'm talking
I
about, I'm coming
know.
up to a year as well.
Yes.
It has not gone away for
It's
me.
so, me neither. But it comes in a wave. It's not every day
Exactly.
anymore, but it'll come in a wave and you're
Exactly.
just like, I'm so happy. And
Yes.
you're like, what is this?
Yes.
Holy shit. And I'm more like humor noir type girl. And I'm like,
Yeah.
all this pink cloud shit coming up me like every couple of days. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Am I going to start like breathing out bubbles? Yeah, what's going on?
If I see you waltzing in here in a tutu,
Then you're like,
in a pink,
we need
a
something.
pink floral tutu.
That's funny.
So I just want to, before we wrap up, like I think we've covered all of the things we're going to talk about.
Yes.
Right. We're going to talk. Well, first of all, we're going to do a mini season, a mini launch for the holidays, because I think talking about this when everyone is getting a little bit anxious about the stress
yeah.
of the holiday season and what that makes them feel like, and and also for you and I to look back. I mean, I have some hilarious
Oh my God.
holiday story
Absolutely.
experiences. And like I said, the different options,
Yes.
tools, ways to embrace the change if you want to.
And how to leave the party.
Oh yeah,
How
yeah,
to
yeah,
leave the party without feeling like you're the party booper. Like
yeah.
you need to leave the party.
I
when
mean,
you're
I
home.
also feel like you get to a certain age in your life where you as a people pleaser,
Oh,
my
yeah.
whole life, being able to just say,
I need to go home.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's the thing.
If
That's
you
it.
think I'm a party pooper
Right.
anymore,
That's
and
right.
if you think I'm not fun, then you don't know me.
Right. Or
Right.
you just don't get it.
Right. And the fact that I don't want to sit up at a bar to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning has
Right.
got nothing to do with alcohol anymore. It's just like I'm in a phase in my life where what I prioritize most is my health, the people that I love, my early mornings to me that are
Yeah.
just clear-headed. I'm so productive and I'm so like, I don't know. I find myself these days spontaneously just driving along and going, wow, I'm so happy.
Yes, that is so true. I've had those too. That's so weird. Yeah.
But it's so good.
Yes,
and
they're
imagine even imparting that feeling of joy and happiness to one other person.
correct.
Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yes.
that's what we're going to do.
Right.
So, Maxine and Isabelle,
Well, so nice chatting with you today.
we're here. We're going to launch a holiday season, a holiday mini season, and then we're going to launch proper at the perfect time, I think.
Right.
In January, when everyone's doing dry January, that's the perfect time to give your body, I mean, dry January is not enough. And there's plenty
No.
of science around that too.
Correct.
30 days is not enough.
It's just a
You
beginning.
really need to, most
90
science now
days.
says you need 90 to 100 days
To
to
see.
actually give your body the
Yes.
chance to reset.
Correct.
But maybe if we start really spreading the word in January that it's dry January, February, March.
Or
And
if we can make dry January funny enough, you want to keep it into February, and
exactly.
you know, so
Exactly. I love it.
It was
Okay.
great. This is great talking to you. I
was great.
polished a whole
A
bottle
whole
of
bottle.
non-alcoholic
She
wine.
polished off a whole
I
bottle.
love that stuff. I'm moving.
Okay, so we've got to tell what is that one?
Well, am I getting paid for this shit? I'm gonna give them a
you're
plug
not.
for free.
Cool your jets. Just tell us what it is.
All right. So I will say Prima Pave. It's made in Italy. They're Blanc de Blanc, which means it's a still white wine.
Yeah.
It's mainly Chardonnay, I believe. Is amazing. And very low sugar, by the way.
See, and that's the other
Very
amazing
low
thing.
I always look at
So
the
many
sugar
of these are
because
low
I'm not
sugar.
a sugar person
Yeah.
and I don't want to have another problem now. Right?
Yeah.
And they also make fantastic champagne. It's not champagne because
Mhm.
it's
Yeah,
but sparkling, amazing to the point where my drinking friends can't tell the difference. So Prima Pave is really good.
Prima Pave.
Send me at least a T-shirt, Prima Pave. I've just plugged you.
Amazing. Okay.
All right.
Thank you for listening, watching, and
See you
we'll
next
see you next
time.
time.
Phew. Shall we? Oh, that's bad luck. There you go.